What a great song that was. That was Creed, Higher. Absolute classic. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did too. Lots of positive music, lots of positive stuff going on in the world, which leads me to share with you the good news, because it is the good news time. Love the good news so much. You know, I really struggle sometimes, even just picking the articles I'm going to share with you, because there's so much good stuff going on in the world, which is absolutely awesome. So, let's start with this. Now, this is very cool. And unfortunately, it's rare, but it would be very nice if we heard more stories like this. While other corporations might choose to spend their money in different ways, this food company is using their sudden influx of cash to thank every single one of their employees for all of their hard work. Cafe chain Pret A Manger was recently bought out by investment fund JAB Holdings for $2 billion. As a means of celebrating the economic windfall, Pret's chief executive Clive Schley announced on Twitter that the company would be giving a $1,300 bonus to each of their 12,000 employees on payroll. Can you believe that? 12,000 employees, in addition to their regular pay, are getting a $1,300 bonus. Wow, that's super cool. Today is a big day for Pret, wrote Schley. As we welcome JAB, we'll be thanking the people who really matter by giving each of our 12,000 employees £1,000, which is equivalent to 1,300 American dollars, when the deal completes. Though the restaurant is primarily based out of the UK, the collective $12 million payout will apply to the employees in all 530 of their stores around the world. Schley later wrote on Twitter that the buyout is serendipity for those who have just joined. The buyout will be applied to everyone's paychecks once the deal is signed in the summer. Many of Pret's workers did not even know about the surprise bonus until they were interviewed by news outlets earlier this week. According to The Guardian, Pret's buyout is a part of JAB's continuous efforts to build a food empire out of snack, coffee, and sandwich brands. In addition to purchasing Panera Bread for $7.5 billion in 2017, JAB also bought out Krispy Kreme donuts for $1.35 billion the year before. Pret has been quick to personally reassure concerned Twitter users that their new partnership with JAB will not affect their current standard of values, food, or service. How absolutely cool is that? That's awesome. We see so many times, or we don't see because they're not doing it publicly, that, these big corporations, they line their own pockets and they're not necessarily helping the people. You're nothing without those people in the front lines. So it's absolutely awesome that they're rewarding them. If those people didn't do a good job, then that company wouldn't have been interested in purchasing it. So it's all part of the whole cycle. So very cool. Hey, how awesome is that? And right in the summer, to get a bonus like that, I don't know really what it's like in England, but an extra $1,000 wouldn't hurt my feelings right now, or an extra $1,300. Although, I am probably going to win the lottery sometime soon, and then I'll be able to tell you exactly how that feels. I'm sure my time is coming. I've invested, trust me. Okay, next story. Very cool. Things we take for granted. My goodness. There's certain leisures that parents might take for granted when raising children. And while listening to babies crying doesn't seem like it would be very high on the list, it is for deaf parents. As parents spend time around infants, they start to learn the difference between when a baby is crying from pain rather than fussiness. Deaf parents, on the other hand, have no way of understanding whether their baby's cries mean something more serious. That's why Dr. Ariana Anderson of the UCLA Medical Center and Semel Institute developed the Crybaby app. Anderson, who is a mother of 4, realized that over the course of being a mother, she had steadily learned to interpret her children's crying. So as a means of assisting the deaf community, she developed a Crybaby app to alert parents to when their kids are crying and to explain why the infants are crying. By compiling the database of over 2,000 baby cries, Anderson's app can interpret a baby's needs with 90% accuracy. Whoa, that's pretty good. For instance, if there's a long period of silence between cries, it usually means that the baby is just finicky. But if the infant is uttering long, sustained, high-pitched wails, it means that the baby is in pain. Who knew? The app is still being developed, but deaf parents who have tested the innovative service say that it's already a valuable tool for looking after their infant. Wow, that's pretty cool. And again, that's the sort of thing that we totally take for granted. You know, I'm thinking as I'm reading it about my granddaughter Gemma. She's 9 months old, and she technically lives with us, although like they're never there, but technically they live upstairs. But I'm thinking about her cries, and yeah, when they're paced out, that's just her just wanting her mama, right? As opposed to when she is teething or hungry or whatever else. So isn't that interesting? And then the last story. You know, we talked about random acts of kindness today. Also, I posted on the Positive Power Facebook page that article that I was reading the random acts of kindness from last year. So you can check that out if you want. But here's another random act of kindness story. And it's the simple things. You know, we have those big ones like I shared where people got, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars or all these big things. But it doesn't have to be a big thing. Quite often people think, well, what can I do? You know, big or little, it makes an impact. That's what matters. Every parent is excited to see their children graduate. But Rob Edwards was doing everything he could to savor the joy of his son's academic achievement. His happiness was so contagious. In fact, it compelled a stranger to give his son a gift. Edwards, who is from Tampa, Florida, says that he was about to walk into his local bank when he ran into an appreciative stranger. Today I was walking into the bank when I held the door open for this lady behind me, Edward wrote on Facebook. Once in the door, she waited for me to go in front of her. I said, by all means, go in front of me. Today my son graduates. I'm slowing down and I want to savor every minute. We carried an additional small talk about being lucky to have made it before the bank closed, and the joys, fun, and hard times of having an 18-year-old. I then stepped up to the teller and proceeded with my transaction. As he was talking to the banker, however, the woman slipped an envelope onto the counter from under his arm and said, "Congratulations, I'm so happy for you." Confused by the gesture, Edwards thanked the woman and finished up his transaction. Then he looked inside the envelope and found it contained a crisp $50 bill. Floored by the gesture, the dad ran outside and saw the woman getting into her vehicle. I walked up to her car and told her, "I can't take this." She said, "When you talk about your boy, you glow. You're a blessing to him, and I want to bless him too," Edward recounts. I was so touched, he added. "I don't know her name. I've never seen her before, but I will never forget her love." I got goosebumps just telling you about it. Before they parted ways, Edwards gave the woman a hug and asked to take a photo with her. He later posted the photo to social media so he could praise the woman for her compassion. "We need more of this in the world today," he says. "Not the money, the kindness. I hugged a complete stranger today. My son, who I love with all my heart, was shown love. It warms the father's heart to love the son. I am blessed," he said. And you know what? It's so true. He really is. And it's those little things that make a difference. We all have the power to make a difference. But do we choose to? You know, there's times where you have a couple extra bucks, you can help somebody. There's times where, oh my gosh, you have extra clothes. Like we had our free clothing drive, if you didn't listen on Tuesday. So twice a year, myself and some friends and we are not in anything organized. There's no church involved. There's the Moose Lodges who helps us. So there's a bunch of us that get together twice a year. We have a free clothing drive at the local Moose Lodge here in Sarnia. I'm not sure what the Moose Lodge number is, but anyways, and they donate the hall. I am a member, but that's not why they help me, because I'm always late in my dues. That's not why they help me. They help me because they're awesome, and they help me because the stuff I do ties in with their motto, which is to be all about families and communities. So obviously I don't spend any money because it's a free thing that we do, so I don't advertise, but I do spread it all over Facebook. And I'm telling you, there was not a bare table in that Moose. Every table was mountainous with stuff. We had clothes, we had small items, we had towels, we had curtains, we had pillows, we had toys, we had shoes. We had a ton of stuff. And by the time we were done, we had stuff left, but not an overabundance of stuff. But we had 1 to 3 hours. In 3 hours, 8/10 of that stuff all came and went for free. We actually even had a food table this time. We've never actually done that before. So that was really super cool. And that, my friends, is validation. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter where you come from, your skin color, your religion. There's good people all over. They're willing to give. They're willing to participate. There's 4 people in town, one of which I never met until this clothing drive. They store stuff for me 6 months out of the year. Like, just wow. There's so many awesome things and awesome people on this planet. We just need to open up to it. We need to be receptive. Like, it's so funny how the guy didn't want to take it. He didn't want to take the $50. Why not? Take it. Be open to it. You're worthy. You're deserving. Anyways, friends, that's the good news for today. Hope you enjoyed it. All those articles will be posted on the Positive Power page. And as you know, I videotape the good news, so it'll be on my YouTube page.